Hello everyone. So today I unfortunately heard the really bad news about Jonghyun passing away. This video is unscripted and I just came home from work, so I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts about the incident and also about mental health in Korea in general. So yeah, I heard about this. I just saw it on Reddit randomly and I was really shocked to hear that. Because he's so young, it's really hard to believe that it happened, and especially the way it happened. So I don't really want to go into detail about what specifically happened. If you want to know, you can read up articles about it. There's plenty of them. I personally felt really it really hit me when I read about how he did it. That just the image of that really hit me really hard, and just the thought that someone did that intentionally to themselves and they were intentionally trying to take out their life. But not only that, the way he did it is it's not like a quick and painless death, but it was like he chose a way that would, it will kind of drag out and be more painful, because he would have obviously been kind of uncomfortable as it started, and it would have taken like a bit of time for it to happen. It wouldn't just happen immediately. So he chose that himself. And also the fact that he did that, it obviously shows that he's been suffering inside for a while, and he obviously can't take it anymore. And I don't want to choose who to blame in this situation, because that's not what you should be doing in this situation. But I feel like Korean culture and Korean society doesn't really they don't really do much to prevent these sort of things from happening. And I feel like more so they kind of push these things, and it's just really unfortunate that society in Korea is this way. I know that many people, they probably look at Jonghyun and think like, he's a really successful celebrity. He has so many fans. He was able to have a successful solo career, and he's probably having the most successful, and he's basically living the dream, is what he probably looks like in the eyes of many Korean people, especially a lot of like parents. And when they look at him on like TV and when he's on stage and stuff, they probably look at him with a smile and think like, oh, he's so happy, he could never be depressed. Like, all that stuff is probably just all in his head or something like that. And this is, and I could be putting words in people's mouth, but these are the kind of comments that they're not that uncommon in Korea as well. So it's very common to hear from Koreans where they kind of they don't believe in when someone is seriously like depressed or has like a serious like mental issue. I've had times here where I've been like extremely lonely, or I became really depressed for whatever reason, and I kind of share it with one of my Korean friends, and they would take it so lightly. And I'm really lucky that I'm not someone who's like suicidal or gets to anywhere near that kind of point. But if I was, like, I feel like I probably would have been really pushed to the edge by some of these people, by just the things they've said when I've shared how I felt to them. Like I remember sharing to one of my closest friends about how how seriously like depressed I felt at one point. I had like during my lowest point in Korea. And this person just told me that like it's nothing, you just need to be strong, basically. And like, what does that do? What does that do for you? They don't see it as a real issue because it's not a physical thing that you can see, and that's what makes it worse for people here in Korea who have these things. And another thing that makes it worse is that a lot of people in Korea, they're not aware of these issues, even when it's happening to them themselves. I have several Korean friends, just from having conversation with them, I can tell that they have some like serious depression or like social anxiety or whatever other thing. I could see it in them, the way they act, the way they talk, but they will never say that that's what they have. They'll never do anything about it because they don't believe that they have it. And even if they kind of, I've had only one friend who was aware that he had it, but he didn't want to be open with it. I feel like he'd be more open about being gay than being depressed, which is a sad fact. And it's because he didn't like having these kind of issues. They can affect you getting a job in the future. having a record of visiting or seeing a psychiatrist or a counselor at any point will actually affect you getting a job in Korea, which is horrible, honestly. And you know, people, they don't want other people to know that they have these things because it will affect how they're seen in society. They don't want to be pitied by people. They don't want people to look down on them. They don't want to be seen as like a sick person. And it's honestly just so horrible the way mental illness is looked at in Korea. It's a serious issue. I personally have gone through a lot of I've had a lot of experience with depression and social anxiety, and living in Korea I've experienced like what it's like to have it in Korea. Until recently I haven't been meeting many foreign people. I've mostly been around Korean people, so I've been kind of I've experienced a lot of how it's experienced in Korea, and it's honestly really horrible. I really felt extremely alone. I couldn't really tell people about it. Even when I did tell people about it, they either wouldn't believe me or they'll just, you know, kind of minimalize it down to nothing. And it's not a good feeling. And I think for someone like Jonghyun, who is in the public eye, and he's someone who's very vocal about many serious issues either in Korea or internationally, and a lot of the issues he was vocal about were kind of taboo in Korea. And I think it was really good on him for doing that, because I think these days Korean society is having a very I'd like to say that it's pushing towards like a new direction, but it's not really. Right now there's kind of like a power struggle between the traditions and like the kind of the new culture of the world, basically, like new things that are not present in the traditional culture, and they're kind of struggling right now, and they're kind of having like a tug of war kind of thing. And people who get in the middle of that, or whichever side that they're on, they're kind of it's always going to be controversial, whichever side that you're on. And it really sucks, and especially as a Western person, where a lot of stuff that we accept in Western countries, it's not accepted in Korea. Just being someone like that over here, where we're kind of like the middle ground, where we kind of, you know, where we can accept the traditional culture and we can accept all these newer ideas, we kind of have to keep our mouth shut, like always, no matter who we're talking to. Because if you wanna be on the side of like traditional things, even if you're not like always on that side, even if you just want to say that, you know, that's good and this is good, a lot of people, they kind of have their minds closed to like two things being acceptable. And I think that would have like definitely had a lot of negative effects on him. But he stood his ground regardless, which was amazing on his part. And I honestly feel really sad about how it turned out. Even though like I don't know him personally or anything, it's just it does feel kind of personal, and I don't even know why it is. But just I can't get the image of how it happened out of my head. And I really, you know, this really makes me hope that there can be a shift in the culture in Korea. I really hope that his death doesn't happen in vain. I really hope that his death can actually push for a social change where people will recognize mental illness in Korea and actually treat it more seriously, more than it is right now. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I became so interested in Korea when I was, I think, in high school. So I was interested in coming to Korea to live way before I even got into like K-pop or anything Korean related. At that time I was suffering from really serious depression and social anxiety, and I was still trying to work my way through it. I might make another video about telling my story of like what I went through and how I got through it. But basically I was going through some really serious stuff at that time, and I kind of thought, like, I was always dreaming about the future, thinking like, because I always hear that message like it gets better, it gets better, it gets better, so just hold on. And I really wanted to hold on and wait until the future. And I was always thinking about all the things I want to do once I get better. And one of the things that I wanted to do so much is help people who have gone through stuff that I went through, like people who are really depressed and feel like they're at the lowest point, people who have really bad social anxiety and don't know how to talk to people, they're just scared of being in social situations and stuff like that. Like I really wanted to be able to help those kind of people. And around that time is when I heard that Korea has the highest suicide rate among students, and that kind of even though I was going through some really hard stuff at that time, I felt like everything I was going through, the difficulties and how hard it felt for me, it all felt like nothing in comparison. Because even though I was going through all this really hard stuff and I felt miserable every day, I was not suicidal. I didn't feel like I wanted to end it. But there was people in Korea who were ending their life every day, and that's what really hit me. And I felt like from that point, I felt like I have to go to Korea and do something to make a difference and to be able to help even in the slightest. And I feel like after a while I've kind of forgotten about that, but this kind of reminded me of the reason why I became interested in Korea in the first place. I feel really passionate about mental health, and I really want to help spread the word about it more and help other people to be able to overcome whatever they're going through mentally. So I think I really want to talk about it more on my channel. Yeah, I need to work out how I'm going to do that first, but I really want to, and I really want to do something to be able to help people in Korea. I really want to be part of this change in Korea so that a difference can be made, and that what happened to Jonghyun won't help to more people. I really do pray that Korea will change and they will recognize mental illness and really not just push it aside and minimalize it, but really treat it as a serious issue. And I really do pray that his death will not go in vain, but people will actually look at it and really realize how serious it is. For everyone watching, thank you so much for watching until now. I really appreciate it, even though I just rambled a lot and I kind of lost track of thought a lot of times. And I know that this must be hard for a lot of his fans. So, you know, for all of you, whatever you're going through, don't go through it alone. You know, there's a lot of people are probably feeling the same as you right now. So if you're feeling really troubled because of what happened, please voice however you're feeling to other people. Please speak to someone who's close to you, a family member or a friend, a really close friend. You can even share how you feel online to other fans or just communities where they just discuss about mental health. Just don't keep it to yourself, because it could become something bigger, and you could create more issues in you. So please don't keep things to yourself. If you're really troubled by this, please speak to someone. If you want to, you can even leave a comment on this video and I'll be happy to respond to every comment. And if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts about mental illness in Korea, or you just want to share how you're feeling about it, just put them in the comments. I'll be happy to read them and I'll respond to every single comment. Yeah, so let's all be sensible about this. Let's all not play the blame game and worry about who's to blame about this, but let's all focus on trying to create change in South Korea's culture, and also educating people about the severity of mental illness, as well as like taking care of ourselves. Each of us, we're all going through stuff, but this, especially if you're a fan of his, this will really, I can tell that this will be really hurtful for a lot of people. So really take care of yourselves, and let's really try and let's change Korea and change the world, how they view mental illness. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that everyone is okay and that everyone is doing well. See you in the next video. Bye bye.